Valuable guests, I would like to greet you all with love and respect and wholeheartedly. In your person and through you, I send my greetings and love to all the trades and crafts people across our country. I feel very much happy to be here with the members of the Confederation of Turkish Trades and Crafts People. I am grateful to God for He has brought our hearts together. The 21st General Assembly of our Confederation hopefully will be auspicious for our country and for you all. Coming from all 81 provinces of our country, the representatives of chambers of the Confederation and all the administrators of the Confederation of Turkish Tradesmen and Craftsmen. I would like to thank to each and every one of you and congratulate you. And in your person, I would like to thank to all those who contribute to the development, further strengthening, and unique contributions for further strengthening economically. The Confederation of Turkish Tradesmen and Craftsmen, with more than 2 million members, is one of the main pillars of our economic and humanitarian life. Trades and crafts people are the people where we sip hot tea together on our streets. They are the laborers of what is brought to us. They are the owners of the stores where we buy our hot food and soup, and is the convenience store, groceries stores, butchers, and all where we shop from. And beyond all, they are the people who knock on our door in dark weathers and is a dear friend who share our love and joy and sadness, is a neighbor and also a brother and sister to our children and all of us. The crafts people in Turkey has probably a unique history, tradition, and know-how, because in our culture, trades and crafts people are not only experts of trade, are not only traders. For us, craftspeople, beyond all their qualities, are brothers and sisters, and in our Futuha tradition, they are the representatives of courage, bravery, and Ali Ehran Veli said, those who come to us with patience for just is one of us. And this, they are the representatives of the civilization ideal in our day. Be right in shopping and on the scale is the principle, and this is what is done by these people of hearts. Every morning they open their shops by saying Bismillah and close by saying Alhamdulillah. In Selçuklu, where the grounds of this tradition were laid, to our day, they have always been the representatives of our trade world. Those in need, poor, travelers, and all were owned up and embraced by our AHI organizations. Those who could use a brush, scissors, hammers, those holy hands, when necessary, ran to the fronts for the salvation of our country and our soil. From Çanakkale to our war of independence, in all our efforts of existence, Our crafts and trades people always were on the front lines, and most recently on the night of July the 15th, with all our nation, our brothers and sisters, our trades and crafts people rendered their bodies shields to coup maker. Among 252 people martyred by the Fatahist law people, we, along with our young children, soldiers, and police officers, also had many trades and craftspeople. While some people rushed to the ATMs, while some people came to terms with the coup makers and fled going through tanks, and while some enjoyed the glorification of our nation on their TVs, sipping their coffee, sitting across their TVs, my crafts people and trades people challenged tanks, weapons that reeked the vomit of death. When it comes to the existence of our country, our soil, our people, our nation, many trades and craftspeople sacrifice their lives. Just like it has been the case for over centuries, they continue to be the guarantee of our rest, of our peace, of our welfare, working, producing, and going after all to win their halal bread. All tradesmen and craftsmen, all craftspeople do stand in the front lines of our country. I would like to extend my gratitude to each and every one of them personally and on behalf of my nation. Having the spirit, the manners, the attitudes, and also the presence of Ahiism, our trades and crafts people make it live, and I would like to thank to them. May God never make us feel their absence, who make this tradition live on. Throughout history, we are the members of a nation who indeed overcame many predicaments. We have not come to this day with the will of some, but with dire struggles. We were challenged, we paid prices, we endured, we survived hardships, and when necessary to protect the independence of our country, we had martyrs. But every time we were sound and safe and proud to overcome all the challenges we endured. Despite all attacks and heinousness, if we can live in this soil free and our shoulders back and our heads up high, it is thanks to the fact that this nation has always took the ownership of its values. As compared to many other countries, the fact that our country has done away with the impacts of the crisis with such slight impact is related with our Ahi tradition. Especially our trades and craftspeople assume very important roles in many fields of the society, along with our civil society organizations, NGOs, and public authorities and institutions. Our crafts and tradespeople acted with a complete spirit of movement, mobilization. The Zemem book, like traditions in our culture, was resurrected, and we have never allowed anyone to be left in challenge. And our nation also showed their generousness, their generosity by erasing, by nullifying all the debts some owned in need, all those. And despite all the nonsense calls of the opposition, we have not made any decisions that would make our nation paid. And from whatever section they come, none of our citizens had to feel the urge to ask where their state was, because we shouldered our responsibility for our SMEs, our craftspeople, our farmers, our workers, and everyone. With all the opportunities we offered, we lightened their burden. Other than rent support, 3,000 and 5,000 lira grant financial assistance helped preserve the cash flow for our trades and craftsmen. And within this framework, for 4 months, rent support and a loss of income assistance totally corresponded to a figure of 4.6 billion lira. And in addition, the 3,000 and 5,000 lira grants also correspond to a total of 4.3 billion. To preserve livelihood income through banks, the credit lines were opened, and to 2022-2021 worth of installment amount was deferred. For our trades and trades people, their debts to the credit cooperatives were restructured. Other than that, for the members of our trade world and their debt to public authorities, we have offered restructuring of debt. All those craftspeople and the tradespeople who had additional revenue income according to the tax procedures was abolished. All the craftspeople who have beauty salons, with the amendment and regulation, we have removed all the obstacles of standing in front of their access to license. While protecting you against the risks of electronic commerce, we have also taken many measures. Thanks to the most recent regulations, the share of the craftspeople from this giant market is on the rise. When the proposal was brought to the assistance, I would like to underline this. When the law was put in effect, because of some warnings, external warnings, the opposition party took it to the Constitutional Court, even if they praised it in the beginning. So this is up to your judgment. On one hand, you will thank, you will congratulate, and then later on you will take it to the Constitutional Court. What kind of a thing is this? Dear friends, know your friends well. Know your brothers and sisters who are walking on this path with you. The support our government offers to our crafts and trades people, of course, are not limited to the pandemic era. Before going into politics, I am a brother of yours who was engaged himself with crafts. And we have always been with you as I served in the government. Your matters are my matters, and your success is my success, is ours. This is how we saw that. And the steps that we have taken have always been planned in order to tackle your issues and also ease the way for you. And over the previous years, the regulations and amendments we made to the favor of our tradesmen and craftsmen are numerous for us to list here. And you know the benefits of that yourselves. at least to refresh memories, I would like to share a couple of them with you. When we took office, one of the major problems you faced, what was it? Access to finance. Was it not? Capital inadequacy and also a collateral shortage. That's why our craftspeople and tradesmen were not able to benefit from credit lines sufficiently. If necessary, they were feeling the need to deal with banks, but we have removed many obstacles in front of access to finance, and for each individual, 5,000 lira a discount rate was only applied for the credit lines, and the amount was as that much. And we, on the other hand, increased this figure to 300, 500 liras. And Mr. President talked about this credit amount to be raised to 500,000. And Akbank General Director is here with us. But these are things that can be overcome. But we need to grasp one thing very well. You have such a president that you know that my biggest fight is against interest rates. My biggest enemy is interest rates. And right now, again, they brought the key rate. We brought the key rates, overnight rates, down to 12%. Is it enough? No. It should be decreasing further. And Halkbank General Director is right across me. And with our central bank, we talked about these. We have been. And in the next monetary policy board meetings, I suggest further decrease in that. Yes, of course, those, unfortunately, who defend high interest rates, high key rates, and interest rates policies, starting with the main opposition. But your president does not advocate for low interest rates. On the contrary, we are maintaining politics that defends, that advocates for low interest rates. And this is a fight against inflation. And after the new year, I believe, and I advocate that with low interest rates, inflation rates will also fall. In investment credits, in investment loans, my dear brothers and sisters, you should go to the doors of public banks over and over again. I do not know what the private banks would do, but I have given instructions to public banks. What was it? You will not be leaving all investors in dire, challenging positions. You will lend them the necessary support. Our trade minister is here, and Mr. Palandokan made a proposal about a rise for the credits to be as high as 500,000. But Mr. Palandokan is accustomed to make someone go fired up. He always does that. But I make a call on our public banks. You will be the facilitators, not those who will make it more difficult. If there is a craftsperson, a tradesperson who makes such an application, then in accordance with the means, you will be offering this support to them in terms of credit lines. I guess Ziraat Vakıf Bank also have so far heard what I said. Is that right? Osman Bey, maybe you should have them here in investments and also for a workplace and vehicle procuring. The credit highest limit was brought up to 1 million. As you know, when we took office, the interest rate ratio was 40% in Halkbank, and our craftspeople could only get access to such financing with 40% of interest applied. But now they can have access to it by an interest rate of 9%. You need to see that reality. Another opportunity that we have offered to our tradesmen and craftsmen is also to do with the zero interest rate credit lines opened. Through Halkbank resources, what is the total amount of finance offered to craftspeople? It is 234 billion lira. Halkbank, through Halkbank. In the past, the resources of the state and finance sector, finance industry, were only shared with the people of certain circles only, while we put it to the service of our trades and craftspeople with the uninterrupted dynamism of Turkey's industrial movement. Such revolutionary acts contributed tremendously. My dear brothers and sisters, Turkey is a country that has unified itself with a global economy. Of course, the crises taking place in the world can never skip Turkey. In the storms, global storm that capsize many developed countries, of course, impact us as well. Many breakings in the supply chain and many pauses in the world can all be seen from the U.S. To the EU. The whole world is fighting against the highest interest rates of the past 40 years ever. And now in the UK, think about the sterling pound. They were praising and compare their value against other currencies. But now, according to the latest figures, they have gone down. And in addition to all these, the war that erupted in between Ukraine and Russia came. With that, the energy prices rocketed and the food prices came to even scary levels. And many countries face the danger of famine. This goes the same for energy. The most important item in agenda in Europe is to pass the nearing winter season with the least harm possible. All European countries right now are thinking thoroughly how they can make this next winter coming pass. But Alhamdulillah, as Turkey, do we have such a problem? Do we have such a matter? No. The energy saving calls made personally by the President, I guess, have all been heard by each and every one of you. At the parliaments, they are now distributing quilts and blankets. Have you not followed? And I know that you will do what you need to do in the most beautiful way. As Turkey, both with the pipeline projects that do guarantee our energy supply and through the liquefied gas storage areas and also the drilling activities in the Black Sea and the Mediterranean and the exploration work and operations. We, thanks be to God, have been going into this process at a relative ease. And tonight we will also have a talk with Mr. Putin, and also we will be making an evaluation of the problems, of the issues that they have also with Ukraine. And if there is nothing extraordinary coming our way, we will be spending our winter months ahead of us with no problem. And with the contribution of the Turkey economy model, moreover, we will be stepping out of this process with no trouble. The economy model, which is based on employment, production, investment, export, and current account surplus, is producing outcomes, positive outcomes. We have, for example, now more than $250 billion a trade export volume, which is even nearing 300 billion. Our organization zones, our production and manufacturing facilities are working day and night, our highways and motorways. You probably see how the trucks and um, big trucks and automobiles are all on the roads. While you are driving, you must have seen, and it shows that Turkey is not a country that, like some others, talk about it. And when the pandemic hit the hardest, we have not only compensated for what we lost, we even attained bigger goals. While the airports in the world are struggling with crises, Istanbul Airport and Sabiha Gökçen Airport, in terms of passenger and also freight traffic, has excessive capacity. And in employment, we have come to a figure of 31 million jobs. Inflation and high cost of living, the biggest problems we have currently right now, are also addressed. For us all to solve it completely, just like we have made sure over the past 20 years that our people are at ease in the face of high inflation, with certain subsidies, grants, and financial support and assistance programs, using many opportunities and measures. We are embracing all the sections of our society, but there's one other reality. Those mandate supporting economists who are accustomed to making money from money will never be given a credence to in their recited sayings that come from old times. And we likewise continue with our investments uninterruptedly. We almost every week visit a city and at mass opening ceremonies share the joy of adorning our country with our people. And yesterday at in Ethnic at 2 p.m. we opened the city hospital. 4,050 room, 4,050 bed capacity hospital it is. This is the second one. We, as you know, opened the first one before. And the second one, in terms of its technology, it is one of the most state-of-art and unique and respected hospitals of the world. And we have always been grateful to that. We have always been grateful to God for it, and Alhamdulillah, we have seen these beautiful days. We opened the second hospital after the first one. Education, health, justice, law enforcement, foreign politics, agriculture, and energy are all the fields, some of the fields we attach great importance to, and one of the most important is the field of health. And we felt the pride of opening our 20th city hospital. And the previous week we had given the news of the most large-scale housing project of the Republican history. Even though the opposition from the first day on smeared on our campaign, titled "My First Home, My First Workplace," Our citizens are very interested, and we have now received applications that is more than 5 million. Okay, as Mr. Polanderken does, is always firing up people. But for designation of plots, at least 1 million with designated areas of plots or lands, our citizens might build their houses, not horizontal architecture, but maybe some homes or some workplaces. In this project, we also have workplaces, and we will be also materializing this project. And the workplaces with reasonable payment conditions will be offered to our young entrepreneurs and tradespeople, for our citizens, especially for our producers and members of our trades world. These actions are the manifestations, reflections of the importance we attach. Because workplace means employment, production, more growth. By way of producing and working together, our biggest wish is for our country to achieve its macroeconomic goals. I expect you to trust in your state and continue relying on us as you have done over the past 20 years. Let those others open some fountains and faucets, claiming that they are services for the nation. He has no other skill than opening some fountains. Let some others go show themselves before the nation with their ceremonies of ground laying or not laying. Let some others assume that their wedge and obstacle politics is true politics for the country. Let them do what they can, but we, on the other hand, will continue working, producing, and putting one brick on top of the other all the time. And today we have an 850,000 bed capacity for our dorms. As long as we have your prayers and your support on our side, we have no doubt that we will be destroying all the obstacles that might come our way. For your love, for your loyalty, and for your great support, I would like to thank to each and every one of you again. May God bless you all with much and fruitful revenues and income. May the 21st Assembly of our Confederation be auspicious for all of you. Thank you very much. Stay in health.